Hello, I am the Notherian, and I'm here today with JakeAlmighty, who is the top seed in the Saturday evening pool for the upcoming Forgewatch Invitational. Jake, thanks a lot for joining me.
I'm happy to be here.
And while we're talking, we're just going to play a casual game here with some decks that you probably won't see in the tournament this weekend. So to start out, Jake, what's your background as a gamer? What did you play before you started playing SoulForge?
I actually started out as a chess player a long, long time ago as a child,
Uh-huh.
which culminated in me being provincially #1 ranked at the age of 11 in my age.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Yeah, it was really good. And then after that, I played Magic: The Gathering, as so many of the SoulForge players have and do, I'm sure, for many, many years. Up until present day, I still play Magic. Not as much anymore. I'm playing SoulForge, but
Magic, certainly many fond memories of Magic. So, best Magic set ever.
I liked Onslaught a lot. I liked playing Tribal Elves back then.
Uh-huh.
It was a lot of fun.
So how did you find SoulForge? How did you end up over here?
Oh, sorry. I found SoulForge actually through a Magic friend who dragged me into it. I guess he kickstarted it originally, and then he really liked it, so he made me come and try it on Steam, and then I really liked it, and here we are.
So when did you start playing?
SoulForge,
Yeah.
September 26th, 2013.
So actually, a little bit newer to the game than some of the players that you're competing against.
Yes, by a fair bit, I think.
Yeah. So you, well, I'm glad you found the game. So what is it about SoulForge that makes it fun or exciting for a competitive player?
I like that SoulForge is very fast, dynamic. The games are interesting, and I think they're decided by many small decisions that all become very important as a whole, rather than like some other games where you make one important decision and then it decides the whole tone of the game for the rest of the game, and it's what you can do about it. Forge, you have a lot more opportunities throughout the game to influence how it's gonna end up.
Yeah. SoulForge is definitely a game of small edges, gaining a lot of small probabilistic advantages and hoping that they pay off for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Very interesting. The decision whether or not to level removal is interesting for me in a given matchup.
Yeah, and is really matchup specific, and I think the question of when to level removal changed a lot as they released the patch and the metagame shifted. And I mean, it's questions like that. I have high hopes that as the game continues, we're going to see a lot of different answers to those type of questions as new cards circulate in or get changed.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's see. So last fall, you got involved in our tournament series and were incredibly successful there, primarily by playing the NT Shaper deck incredibly well.
Yep.
So in the previous metagame, were there any decks other than the NT Shaper deck that you particularly enjoyed?
I played a lot of robots based on the lists that Decurion was playing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He came very, very close to beating me in the top 4 of one of those Forgewatch tournaments. And I really liked his list, so I got it from him and started working from there with that list. And I think that was probably the other best deck of the format, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. So you were particularly good at the NT Shapers mirror match. You won a lot of Final Four games in tournaments playing NT Shapers against NT Shapers. In the old metagame, what was the key to winning that mirror match?
I found that the key in that mirror match was that the opponents, largely, in my experience, didn't really know how to approach the matchup. So I was able often to get ahead early on and in the mid game when they weren't really focused on that. They were very much focused just on playing their cards, whereas I had an actual game plan going into it. The other part is Zemus is very good against empty shapers because you really just have no way to deal effectively with a Zemus 3.
Yeah, but as the metagame shifts here, it's interesting how cards like Zemus that were so important when in top deck matchups in the old metagame seem to be becoming less important. We'll have to see for the Invitational exactly how that plays out.
Oh yeah, he's much less important now, for sure.
So, actually, that's one of the things that makes me optimistic about the future of the game. Certainly, the future of the competitive scene going forward is the designers seem to have demonstrated that they can, even using a very small batch of cards, really tweak the metagame around and send competitive players scrambling, which is, I think, an important part of being a good TCG.
Oh yeah.
You have any thoughts as you look ahead to the future of SoulForge to set to as to what you hope to see or where you hope to see the game go?
I mean, for me personally, I'm excited about many tournaments in the future because tournaments is mostly how I choose to play these kinds of games. Sorry, 1 second.
Oh, yep.
So yeah, tournaments for me. Hopefully, other large tournaments. Enjoyed the series of tournaments that was run by Forgewatch. I think that was a great system, and hopefully that'll continue.
Yeah, I thank you very much, and we're certainly looking into what to do for organized play going forward here. But I appreciate the vote of confidence. And let's see. Also, speaking of the future, do you have any favorite cards or favorite strategies that, let's say favorite cards that are fun to play when there's nothing on the line but aren't tournament viable, or strategies that you might hope would become tournament viable in the future?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first off, my absolute favorite card of all time always is, it's tied. It's Everflame Phoenix and Scorchmane Dragon. But those aside, I really like playing Arboris decks when I'm not playing in tournaments. I play it often paired with Utera with Tempest, because then I get to play Phoenix as well.
Sure.
And also often with Necrium.
Okay. And I think the Arboris deck is one of those decks that had a bit of success in the tournament series last fall, but always seemed to be missing something to really be top tier.
Yeah, he was definitely around, just wasn't he wasn't dominating too much. I think that could change in the future.
Yeah, would certainly be exciting if it did. Let's see if I think this game might actually be going fairly well for me.
Definitely.
So I've done a couple of interviews this week with other top seeds playing a random assortment of decks, and this is by far the one that is going the best for me. I might actually be able to end the week without might actually be able to end the week with a win.
Oh yeah, I think a win is definitely in reach here.
So I think that's most of the questions that I had. We'll certainly stick around to finish off the game here.
Yeah.
Anything else I should have asked you that I didn't think to?
I don't know. What's your favorite card?
Oh, that's so for me it's Hinterland Watchman. I was so happy to see Hinterland Watchman get changed so that it now actually works correctly with General and Battle Tactician.
Yep.
I haven't figured out yet whether or not there's a viable Hinterland Watch deck that exists now. Actually, I've been spending too much of my time on draft, but I have a lot of fun with the card, even if I don't quite have the right list for it, and I think either there's a Hinterland Watchman list that's sitting around today, or maybe after they release Set 2, it's one to look back on.
Yep, for sure. That deck I was just playing has Hinterland Watchmans in it. Attempting to get them down and level them, but you played way too many 7/7s.
Yeah, that's well, would have liked to have been beaten by Hinterland Watchmen. I think there's no way that I would rather lose than get burst down by an aggressive level 3 Hinterland.